Hello, Internet. My name is Matt, and this is the year of the kilt, and we're into April now, which is awesome. And it's Tartan Week, which is apparently a week where people around the world, but specifically in the UK, but also in New York and everywhere else, celebrate the tartan and Scottish heritage and all kinds of cool types of things like that. And so to celebrate that, I did nothing special because, as far as I am aware, there were no events in Flagstaff related to Tartan Week, so nothing I could really jump into, be a part of, do anything extra special. I am going to wear the kilt out to the bars, or pubs if you like, tomorrow evening after I get off work because it's Friday and that's what you got to do. And I'm going to have a buddy with me who's also going to wear his kilt. And we're just going to generally have a good time and maybe talk about Tartan Week with other people and maybe not. Let's see. I found a thing on the internet today about this guy named Chris, I think is his name, and he is going to spend the next year, I believe, riding his motorcycle exclusively in the kilt, which is awesome because he's using it to raise money for charities. More than one charity. I think he's got 3 charities that he's working with, and he's getting donations from cool people and kind of using it as an excuse to support a good cause, which is great. Good for him. So I'll put a link to his page in the description down below so that you can check out the cool stuff that he's doing and maybe donate to some of his charities, or at least amuse yourself with his motorcycling kilted shenanigans, which I have done a couple of times for like short jaunts, up the block or whatever. And I found it to be sort of cold and uncomfortable and very, very revealing. Not necessarily because the kilt like blows up in front of your face, but because the side of the kilt will blow up and you get lots of upper leg thigh action going on, like more than I had bargained for by a fair margin, which is amusing and horrifying at the same time. Even in good weather, so bad weather, which he's going to do it every day, whatever. He's in for some interesting times, I think. So that's kind of I'll link to that, and good for you, Chris, for doing what you're doing, and that's awesome. I wore a couple of my tartan kilts this week just as celebration of tartaniness, and then I ran out because I didn't want to wear the same kilt all week, and I didn't want to just switch between 2, so I had to swap into a utility kilt, which is just fine. It's just not tartany, and it's not like anyone in Flagstaff is paying attention to Tartan Week anyway. I just had, Flagstaff has been windy. One of those things, spring comes and it gets windy. So all of this week, until just today, we had winds in the 30-mile-an-hour range, gusts to the 50s. I think just like 57 was the high gust that I saw. Oh my God, so much wind in the kilt. I don't even know what to do with myself when it's that windy. When I first started wearing kilts back in high school, I would forego the kilt on a day I knew it was going to be that windy. And now, in the year of the kilt, I'm not foregoing the kilt. I'm just going to wear it, and I've learned that only in very specific circumstances will the wind pretty much always cause the kilt to blow up. One is when I'm getting out of my car or into my car, and the other is when I'm entering or exiting a business. Like you open the door and it creates this clamshell, and the wind just vortexes up, and you get a little Marilyn Monroe moment. I've so far managed to avoid any embarrassing incidences, at least that I know about, and I'm learning that the wind, as long as you watch it, and you're paying attention to where you are and what you're doing and getting in and out of the car, whatever, that the sporin does all the work in terms of the front, and in the back. I generally speaking don't really care if I get a little back, flipping in the wind action. I got no problem showing off my Irish hairy arse, as long as the front doesn't do the same thing, because that's just, some people just don't want to see that, and whatever. Anyway. But it's been really windy, and I've still been in the kilt, which is an adventure in and of itself. I know what I was going to talk about. I had a belt buckle that I bought on buyakilt.com that I had originally planned to be my wedding belt buckle, and it's on one of the big, gnarly kilt belts, which I love the kilt belts. They're thick, they're huge, they're leathery, they're masculine, big freaking belt, right? The problem is, the belt was way more buff than this tragic belt buckle, which I tried to put on. No, I was taking it off after a day of wearing it, and the the pin that holds the buckle onto the one side of the belt just fell off. Like the whole length of it just disappeared, broke into multiple pieces, which I was pretty bummed about because it's big beefy belt and big beefy belt buckle. Big beefy belt buckle. Say that 5 times fast. Big beefy belt buckle. And I think I paid, I don't know, 20 or 30 bucks for it. Like, not hugely expensive, but enough that you would think it would last a while. And the time that it broke was like my third or fourth use. So pretty disappointing. I emailed the buykilt.com people, and they have assured me that they have sent me a replacement, and that I will probably see it in the next couple of days here, direct from Scotland, which is cool. Assuming that it actually lasts and doesn't break and fall apart, like, I don't know, during my wedding, which would be horrifically embarrassing. The kilt holds itself up kind of pretty well on its own, but the belt's going to hold up, the accessories, the knife that I'm going to wear, all of this stuff. And I would really hate for that to happen in the middle of a wedding, which would be just horrible. So I'm going to give it a few tries and make sure that it's holding up when I do receive it, and maybe do a little comparison between what broke on the old one and if the new one's any different, which is possible, although unlikely, and just kind of, see what's going on there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just been windy as all hell and enjoying some good kilted stuff on Tartan Week. I found some new kilt-related Facebook pages. I've been following, obviously, Life in a Kilt, Year in a Kilt, which became Life in a Kilt, and following his stuff. But then I also discovered All Things Kilt recently, or All Things Kilted, something like that. And they've been putting up some really fun content, and that's where I found this thing about Chris with the motorcycles and whatever. So I'll try and include a couple of links to the other kilt-related things that I've been watching recently, and the stuff I follow on Facebook and whatever. And I still have that sport kilt for sale if anybody's interested. It's still the same price, whatever. I think the last post on the blog is what it was about. Adventurekilt.com, in case you haven't found out the blog yet. There's more than just these videos there. Not a lot more, but a little more. So, and that's still, I think I put it at $40 or something like that. So, drop me an email if you're interested in that sport kilt, medium, 20 inches long. Great for a shorter dude, not so great for a really tall dude. I think that's it. So I'm going to go do other things, I guess, with my life. So I am Matt, and this is the Year of the Kilt, week number 14, 13, something like that. And we'll see you next week with more kilted fun.